Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is the continuation of the group theory chapter. In this video we deal with the kernel of homomorphism and some theorems on the same. Kernel of homomorphism. So let us define this. Let f from G to G dash be a homomorphism from the group G into G dash and E dash be the identity of G dash. Then the subset K of G is defined by K equals to such that for all A belongs to G such that f of A equals to E dash is called the kernel of homomorphism F and is denoted by kernel F. So it means that here G and G dash be a homomorphism and E dash be the element of G dash, identity of the G dash. So kernel K is the collection of all those elements whose image is E dash, that is the identity of G dash. So that is, if we have a homomorphism from G to G dash, for example we have A, B, C as three elements and here we have 1, 2, 3 and so on. So here A, B, C and E is the identity element of this G, 1, 2 and so on A dash. If A matches with E dash, B matches with 1 and C matches with E dash and of course obviously E is always matches with E dash, okay, then collection of the elements A, C and E which maps with E dash. So these are the elements which maps with E dash and the collection of all these elements is called as kernel K. So here you can observe that K is the collection of all those elements A belongs to G such that f of A, that is image of those elements, equals to identity element in the G dash, that is E dash. So this type of collection of elements is called as kernel of homomorphism and is denoted by kernel F also. It is denoted by capital K also. Okay. So let us see some theorems on this. First theorem, let f from G to G dash be a homomorphism from the group G into G dash with kernel K, then K is normal subgroup of G. So proof, we shall prove this theorem in two steps. First one we shall show that K is subgroup of G. For that, so we have to show that the necessary sufficient condition for subgroup, that is for all A comma B belongs to K, we need to show that AB inverse belongs to K. Then only we can say that this K is subgroup of G. Second one, the second step is we shall show that K is normal in G. For this we need to show that GK G inverse belongs to K for every G belongs to G and K belongs to set K. Okay. So we have to show these two. So let us prove one by one. First one, by the definition of K, that is kernel K, we know that K is subset of G. This is by the definition of K. Okay. Also we know that for a homomorphism always a identity element maps with the identity elements of set G dash. Okay, if we have G to G dash is a homomorphism, then identity element maps with identity elements of G dash. Therefore always we know that f of e is equals to e dash. So here image of this e is equals to e dash. Therefore we can say that always this k is non-empty. Okay, so which means that k is not equals to null set. That means it is non-empty, right? K is non-empty. Okay, so that means K is non-empty subset of G. Now we shall show that the first condition, that is for all A B belongs for all A comma B belongs to K, A B inverse belongs to K. Okay, so let A comma B belongs to K. So since A comma B belongs to K, by the definition, so we know that by the definition kernel of K, all A comma B belongs to K, we have image of this A maps with identity element, also image of B, that is f of B is equals to identity element, because by the definition of K we have all the elements of kernel K are such that whose images equals to identity element, that is by definition of kernel F, right? This is by the definition. Okay, so now consider f of AB inverse. It can be written as f of A into f of B inverse. So this is, since f is homomorphism, right? So since f is homomorphism, we can write it as f of AB inverse equals to f of A into f of B inverse, or it can be written as f of A as it is. This f of B inverse can be written as f of B whole inverse. This is by the properties of homomorphism. So in the last video we have proved that f of x inverse can be written as f of x whole inverse. This is, so this one we have proved in the last video. Okay, therefore it can be written as, so since f of A images of all the elements in K maps with identity elements, we can write it as E dash. Even this f of B is also equals to E dash whole inverse, right? So we know that identity elements inverse is equals to identity elements itself. Therefore we can write it as E dash into E dash, which is equals to E dash again. Therefore f of AB inverse equals to E inverse. It implies that since we are getting the image of an element equals to E dash, means this element belongs to K. So therefore, so we have started with this for all A comma B belongs to K, and we have proved that AB inverse belongs to K. Hence we can say that K is subgroup of G. Okay, next we prove the second one, that is K is normal in G. Second one, to show that K is normal in G, we need to prove that GK inverse belongs to K for all G belongs to G and K belongs to K. Okay, so consider f of GK inverse is equals to f of G. So by the homomorphism we can write it as, we can split this one as f of G, f of K, f of G inverse. Okay, so it is equals to f of G. So here this f of K can be written, since K belongs to K, we can write it as f of K is equals to E dash into f of G inverse. Now f of G, so if we operate identity element with G inverse, we get the same element, therefore it can be written as f of G as it is. This can be written as f of G inverse. Okay, so this is by homomorphism. Now, so this can be written as, again by the homomorphism, it can be written as f of G into G inverse, again by homomorphism. F as it is, this G into G inverse can be written as identity element, that is E, because these G and G inverse are the elements of G, therefore identity element of G is E. But we know that image of E is always E dash, therefore we can say that f of GK G inverse is equals to E dash. It implies that since image of this element is equals to E dash, we can say that this element belongs to, that is GK G inverse belongs to K. For all G belongs to G and K belongs to K. Hence, K is normal subgroup of G. That's the proof. Okay. Next theorem. Let G be a group and H be a normal subgroup of G. Then the quotient group G by H is a homomorphic image of G with H as its kernel. So here we have to show that G by H is a homomorphism, that is homomorphic image of G, and kernel K is equals to H. Okay. Proof. Given that G is a group and H is normal subgroup. So we have the quotient group. So already we have learnt about quotient group. The quotient group is given by G by H is equals to HA, such that for all A belongs to G. Okay, so this is the quotient group by the definition of quotient group. Now we define a mapping. Define a mapping F from G to G by H, that is quotient group, by F of A is equals to this HA. Okay, so this is this we define a mapping F of A equals to HA. Let us consider this as equation 1. So this is for all A belongs to G. Now we have to prove that, that is we shall show that F is homomorphism. Okay. For this, consider F of AB. So by the definition of 1, we can write it as F of AB equals to HAB, because F of A equals to HA. So this is by equation 1. Now by the product of two cosets, we can write this HAB can be written as HA into HB. So this is by definition of product of two cosets, right? Now so we can write it as F of AB equals to HA, means by definition 1 it is F of A into F of B. Therefore we can say that this F is homomorphism. Okay, so we have proved F is homomorphism. Now we have to show that kernel of F is equals to H. Okay, For this, by the definition of kernel F, we have for all A belongs to G such that f of A is equals to, so in the definition we have E dash because there we have G from G to G dash, but here we have, so the in this theorem we have the homomorphism G from G to, F from G to G by H. Its identity element is H. So therefore, by the definition of kernel of F, we can write it as A belongs to G. For all A belongs to G, F of A equals to identity of G by H. So that is, for all A belongs to G, F of A equals to, we know that identity of G by H, that is quotient group, is always H. Therefore, A belongs to G. So this F of A can be replaced by HA. This is by the definition 1. So we have defined F of A equals to HA. Therefore, HA equals to H. So when we have HA equals to H, then we can write from the theorem, that is, if HA equals to H, we can write A belongs to H. So this is by theorem. Since HA equals to H, double implies that A belongs to H. Okay, this is by the theorem, that is properties of the cosets. Okay, A belongs to H. So since A belongs to G implies that A belongs to H, we can say that this G is equals to H. Okay, so that means we can say that this kernel F is equals to H. Kernel F is equals to H. Okay, hence the proof. Theorem 3. Let F from G to G dash be a homomorphism from G into G dash with kernel K. Then F is 1, 1 if and only if K equals to identity, that is K equals to set containing identity element E, where E is the identity of G. So we have to show that if K is, F is 1, 1 if and only if K is equals to E only. Okay, so for this proof, so let us assume that F is 1, 1. So let first suppose F is 1, 1. So F is 1, 1 means for all x1, x2 belongs to G implies that F of x1 is equals to F of x2, F of x1 equals to F of x2 implies that x1 equals to x2. Okay, so this is by the definition of 1, 1 function. Okay, so now for all A belongs to K, we have F of A equals to A, since by the definition of kernel K, kernel of F, so image of all the elements equals to E, this is not E, E dash. Okay, so therefore we can say that F of A can be written as F of E, because image of E is equals to always E dash. So it implies that by, since F is 1, 1, we can say that F of E equals to F of A equals to F of E implies that A equals to E. Okay, so that is every element of K is E. Okay, so this is for all a belongs to k. So that means all the elements of k are equals to identity element e. So therefore we can say that k is equals to e. Okay, now conversely, suppose that k equals to e, then we have to show that f is 1. Then we shall show that f is 1. Okay, for this we have to show that f of a equals to f of b, implies that a equals to b for all a comma b belongs to G. Now consider f of a equals to f of b. It implies that, so it can be written as f of a f of b whole inverse equals to f of b into f of b whole inverse. That means it is post multiplying f of b whole inverse on both sides, we get this f of a into f of b whole inverse is equals to, so it f of b whole inverse can be written as e, and element its inverse equals to always identity elements. Since f of b and f of b inverse are the elements of G dash, so it is equals to identity element of G dash, that is E dash. Okay, so therefore we can say that by the since f is homomorphism, f of a f of b whole inverse can be written as f of a into f of, this can be written as f of b inverse equals to a dash, or this together can be written as f of ab whole inverse, sorry, ab inverse equals to a dash. It implies that this AB inverse belongs to K, but we have that K is equals to E. That means all the elements of K equals to identity element E. Since AB inverse belongs to K, we have that AB inverse is equals to E. So since K is equals to identity elements, okay. So therefore, so on post multiplying by B, we get AB inverse B equals to EB. Again post multiplying by B, so this is equals to B inverse B equals to, we have E, but EB is equals to, we have B. Okay, so if you operate any element with identity element, you will get the same element. Therefore again this is equals to A equals to B. So we have started with f of A equals to f of B, and we have proved that A equals to B. Therefore f of A equals to f of B implies that A equals to B for all A comma B belongs to G. Hence f is 1. Okay.